Boruto Chapter 10 ended off with Himawari awakening and utilizing Kurama's powers, after witnessing what it looks like to be the death of Inogen. This is a very hype moment for all of us. However, do we really think that Himawari can win against Jura? I don't think so, and that's why in this video I am relying on one man to save Himawari, and that man is Damon. Because the way that I view this fight between Himawari and Jura is simply a fight to show us the potential that Himawari has to be a top tier fighter in the verse. We're going to see in this fight a couple moments that make us believe that maybe in the future, but not now, Himawari will be able to contend with the strongest of fighters that the series ends up throwing. The villains that may come in the future, we will see Himawari put up some strong performances. However, for now, we're just seeing the potential. Because there is no way that this absolute menace of Jura killing Inogen like it didn't mean anything to him, popping up to the village, dealing with Kawaki, there is no way that Himawari will be able to do much of anything to bring Jura down and actually put a stop to the Shinshu. If that ends up happening, I'll be the first person to admit that I was wrong, but I personally just can't see that happening. She is not that strong as of yet. She is somebody that after the time skip and all the chaotic events that happened with her mother and Naruto, who ended up getting sealed, she just got the resolve necessary to then begin training as a shinobi. As we see in the anime, that she was quite unsure about whether she really wanted to be a shinobi, and her parents weren't putting any pressure. It was up to her to decide. But due to everything that has happened, Himawari now had the resolve to become a shinobi and started training with Team 10 over the timeskip. This is what we see in the opening chapter of the timeskip. However, with just 3 years of training, and now that we see that she is one with Kurama and has an even greater affinity to Kurama's power than Naruto herself, I still don't believe that that will be enough for her to take down a threat like Jura, especially since she just started on her path as a shinobi. However, what I do believe that we could see is a moment that is quite similar to what we got with Raditz and Gohan. We got a moment between Raditz and Gohan where Gohan was able to do damage on Raditz that enabled us to see that, okay, maybe in the future Gohan could be one of those top tier fighters that will actually be able to do something. Oh, Gohan has potential. This is what we could see in the fight versus Jura and Himawari, a moment of sheer potential that allows us to see that Himawari is truly strong. However, although I know that Himawari will lose, I don't believe that Himawari will die at any point of the series, especially at this point in the series versus Jura. She will lose, but she will not die. It will be on a similar situation to what happened between Naruto and Orochimaru, where Naruto was going on a rampage and we had Orochimaru on the defensive at times, but at the end, the one who truly came on top was Orochimaru. And this will be the same between Jura and Himawari. I do believe that we could see Jura maybe on the defensive for a bit, or at least dodging Himawari's abilities and moves that she starts throwing out, but in the end, Jura will come on top. But the question that we now have to ask ourselves is what will enable Jura not to devour Himawari? As if Jura ends up losing, then why would he not devour Himawari? And I believe that the manga has already thrown out a couple hints as to what will potentially happen that will cause Himawari to lose but not end up getting devoured. It seems at the current moment that Jura wants to keep Himawari alive and devour her by turning her in some sort of tree. This doesn't mean that Jura is opposed to breaking any of her limbs, but at least we know for the moment that he doesn't want to kill her and wants to devour her alive. But we still have some other hints like Kawaki and Delta who are making their way to Jura. We literally have Shikamaru who gives us a statement in chapter 10 confirming that Kawaki didn't know that Himawari was in danger even though he knew that Jura was in the village. Regardless of all the issues that a lot of people have with Kawaki, this reinstated the fact that Kawaki truly cares for the family in the sense that he truly cares for Himawari. And then we have a Kawaki who tells Shikamaru that he should have told him this sooner, and then even though Boruto was still out there in the village, he left Boruto alone and thus decided to go and deal with Jura. Jura, who is fighting versus Team 10, separated with Hidari. But that wouldn't be a problem for somebody like Jura, who already was able to pack up Kawaki. Kawaki did use the first version of Karma. We didn't see him use True Essence Karma. However, I don't think that Kawaki truly stands a chance against Jura even if he uses all of his power. I don't know the exact reason why we haven't been seeing Kawaki use True Essence Karma. Even at the end of Boruto Part 1, when Boruto and Kawaki ended up fighting, it didn't seem like they were using True Essence Karma. This is something that I truly have a problem with when it comes to the series, as it is at times unclear when people like Kawaki, Code, and Boruto are truly using True Essence Karma. Maybe we're going to get an explanation in the chapters to come with Kawaki, who will then end up using True Essence Karma, but for the moment, it is quite confusing. And we do have to take into consideration that Delta is also going to be going with Kawaki, so we could have maybe a 3v1, or if Kawaki and Delta don't get there in time, is going to be a 2v1 between Kawaki and Delta versus Jura. But we all know what's going to happen. Kawaki is going to get packed up yet again, and Delta, she didn't even react to the fight between Kawaki, Hidari, and Jura. So I personally don't think that Delta is going to do much of anything to help Kawaki in this fight. Maybe she's going to help in some way when it comes to maybe potentially saving Inogen and the rest of Team 10, or maybe even getting Himawari into safety, but against Jura, she truly can't do anything. And this is where, if Boruto is not there, we can clearly see that Boruto is struggling with his karma, and that the writers are really trying to get the side characters to shine by having Boruto be out of the story due to how strong Boruto is. Because if Boruto didn't have his karma issues, then Boruto would be the one fighting Jura. We have a clear intention from the writers that Boruto is not going to be involved in the fight just yet against the Shinshu. Maybe in the future he is going to come back, but for the moment the writers are taking Boruto out to allow the other side characters to shine. Maybe Boruto comes back near the end and Boroshiki does something, but for the moment it doesn't seem like Boruto will be doing anything. And this leaves the only person who truly has the strength, who truly has the aura to come and pull up and do something about Jura and the Shinshu as a collective. It leaves Damon. Damon is going to have to be the one to save and protect Himawari. And this is something that I personally would love to see. It would be amazing to see Damon going crazy, Damon having a fight versus the Shinshu, because I don't believe that Damon would allow Himawari to die. We've already know the connection between Damon and Himawari. Some people believe that there is a love connection. I personally am not the type of person to theorize on any source of romance. I'll let you guys do that in the comment section below. But me, as a person who enjoys the fighting aspects of the series and the shonen parts, I personally see that the way that we're seeing the dynamic between Himawari and Damon is one where Damon looks at Himawari as a future opponent that he may be able to fight after she becomes truly strong. We saw that in chapter 77, where Damon was about to hit her with at least a decent amount of his strength, but then didn't do that because Boruto got in the way and it didn't seem like Himawari was going to dodge it. But Damon said that Himawari should easily be able to dodge such a move and was surprised that she didn't do so. Damon, who looked at Boruto's Rasengan Uzuhiko, and if you watched my previous video, you know how broken that ability is, he looked at it and was truly not impressed. But with Himawari, he was impressed, and this was Himawari back in the days, and we now know what her power truly is. So I don't believe that Damon will allow Himawari to die, because Damon is somebody who is constantly looking for an opponent that will allow him to fight seriously. This is what he tells Boruto in chapter 80. Come back strong enough so I can finally fight somebody at full strength. He didn't fight Code at full strength because we know that Code isn't all that. He didn't fight Boruto or Kawaki in part 1 at full strength, so Damon has never been given the opportunity to fight somebody at full strength. So if he meets somebody who could potentially become that strong that will allow him to fight at full power, then I don't believe that he will allow her to die. Maybe there is some romance involved, but if you just focus on the power scaling side and Damon wanting a challenge for himself in the future, just off that, you would know that Damon would make an appearance and not allow Himawari to die. And we know that Daemon is somebody who can sense power levels, so he is clearly aware of the Shinshu's presence in the village. When Boruto used his Rasengan Uzuhiko, he knew what Boruto was doing. So I personally believe that when Himawari is going crazy and is using those inner powers that potentially Daemon was referencing, Daemon might make an appearance and be like, damn, at least let me look at the fight, at least let me see what's happening, let me see what my future candidate and my future opponent is going to be able to do. So Daemon will make an appearance, not allowing Himawari to die even after Kawaki and Delta probably got packed up by Jura. But to me, that even isn't the most important part of this fight. To me, the most important part of this fight is for us to truly figure out how strong the Shinshu are and how strong Boruto and these current time skip characters truly are. Are they stronger than Baryon Mode and Ishiki? One could make that argument. However, I still don't believe that we have enough information to say just for sure that Boruto, Jura, Hidari, and all these various characters are stronger than the likes of Ishiki and Baryon Mode Naruto. If there is a potential character that could be at that level, I would say that it would be Damon. But a fight like this would allow us to clearly come to the conclusion that yeah, okay, this guy is stronger than this guy and this guy is stronger than the other, because right now it is kind of convoluted. When it comes to the scaling with Hidari and Sarada, that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people just couldn't grasp how strong Sarada is, because at first everybody just went off the assumption that the Shinshu are stronger than Ishiki and Baryon Mode Naruto, but we haven't been given enough information to come to that consensus. So this fight will allow us to have not only a benchmark of the Shinshu, but also a benchmark of Daemon himself in comparison to characters like Boruto, Hidari, and all these various new threats that are popping up. I personally believe that we will see yet again that Daemon truly is the strongest and the Shinshu are under Daemon. And to me, regardless of what you guys may say, I still think that Daemon is above the Shinshu. Maybe I am wrong and the future chapters do come to disprove this, but with the information given, I don't believe that the Shinshu are Ishiki or even Baryon Mode levels of strength. I still believe that they are under Daemon, and that's what I think with the information given. This is what makes the most sense at the current moment. I believe that this is simply round one of the Shinshu invasion. The Shinshu will come and potentially, simply due to Daemon, they will have to leave and realize that they are not strong enough. However, by them leaving, they would recognize that they took an L to a certain extent, but they are still alive. Thus, they will have to devour other people before coming back and devouring the people that they had truly wanted to do in the beginning. I don't know how that may go, but we could see the Shinshu go to various other villages, and thus we would have an expansion of world building in Boruto. That would be one of the perfect scenarios to go. Maybe I end up being wrong. However, the development of the Shinshu is not something that's going to be taken care of just right now. We're not going to be seeing the death of Jura and Hidari anytime soon, in my personal opinion. There are various stages that the Shinshu have to go through as new living creatures, and if you want to find out what are those stages, you have to watch this video right here.